Hello and welcome to the Berkcast, the How to Train a Dragon podcast. I'm your host, HC. With me are.
Rush 2112.
And Wolf.
And today we're going back to the confession booth because we're doing another session of How to Train Your Dragon confessions. Filled enthusiasm with my co-hosts. Come on, guys. It's a confession booth. You can be a bit enthusiastic.
Woo.
What? Sorry. Fell asleep there for a second.
Okay, so like last time, we are going to read through a few How to Train Dragon fanfictions, confessions, and we're going to say what we think about them. And again, no disrespect to the people who wrote them if we don't agree or joke about the pictures that were chosen for them. It's just, we're all fans and we want to hear what other fans have to say. So once again, each confession can be rated as such. Heart of a Chief, in case we agree with the confession or see the point of view behind it. Act of Snotlout, in case we see the confession as a pure nitpick and we don't agree with it. Or the new rating Polarized, in which we don't really know what to think. It happened. A lot.
And we'll probably lose count again, and we'll probably still cheat as well. And not go along with the ratings.
Probably, but anyway, Rush, you missed on the last episode we did this.
Yeah, out of necessity. Actually, I can't remember why, but...
But anyway, Wolf and I both confessed a confession of our own before we started. So, do you have anything to confess?
Was your confession a confession of love to each other?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Does it have to be related to anything, or
To How to Train a Dragon, obviously.
Okay, good, because I was gonna have to say I need to hide that shovel. Then, no. I don't know. I've been pretty open about How to Train Your Dragon and all this stuff. You kind of just dropped it on me there, seeing as yeah, great. I wish you had told me this before we started. Tell you what, I'll think of it by the end of the episode.
Yeah, so
what we found out here, Rush doesn't watch previous episodes if he's not on them.
If I miss it, I do go back and watch it, except for this time. I think the reason why I didn't watch it, because it was like I was gone a weekend, and when you published it, I was still gone. So that may have been why. And so
also, it's been quite a while since then. It's almost 20 episodes since then. So yeah, like I didn't even remember it until I went back to listen to it in case. So, but anyway. Let's just start to read the confessions. Each one of us gets 10. So the order will be me, Wolf, Rush. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so first one. I know this probably won't be published, but I need to get this off my chest. Oh, don't worry, confessioner. We are reading it and we feel you, dude. Or gal, whatever you are. After watching How to Train a Dragon for the first time, I felt like a part of me had gone missing. I was in a bad mood and depressed. 2 days later, I realized that I would totally give my left foot to live as Hiccup in the How to Train a Dragon world. I then broke down crying. I'm polarized on this.
Okay. Explain.
I mean, how do
I'm polarized.
I mean, how do you
Great.
how do you respond to that? I mean, like
We have to be on a sliding scale because, like, I'm halfway between Heart of a Chief and Polarized because I felt the same way after I watched How to Train Your Dragon. Of course, now I'm a lot older and I don't think that way anymore. But yeah, when like that person said, it's like I really wanted to live as Hiccup in How to Train Your Dragon world at one point in the fandom or in my, I guess, fan life.
Yeah, but you know, your leg.
Well, Hiccup already lost his leg, so if you're gonna be Hiccup, might as well lose your leg, right?
Well, it's not your leg; it's just your foot.
That's true. It's left foot. Yeah,
Yes.
there you go. Even better. I kick with my left foot. That just shows you how much I care about this.
Yeah. Anyway, Wolf, what do you think?
Mm. I don't think I'd want to live in that world, even with dragons. That depends, right? Like, if I live in that world, do I know that this world existed at one point in time? Would I have known that things like AC and
Are you gonna
internet
be a
and
Mary
stuff like that
Sue and know
existed?
everything?
Not that.
I
It's
know.
just
I'm
like,
just
would I
kidding.
have known the comforts of AC, the comfort of heating, the comfort of the internet, or just the want of the internet, right? Like, I don't know if I could do without that. I don't know if
That makes it
dragons.
worse. Yeah. Like if you don't have knowledge about it at all, then good for you, right?
Mm.
You just wake up one day and you're Hiccup.
I also don't know if I'd want to be Hiccup specifically either. Being in that world and being able to just ride a dragon would be great, but being specifically Hiccup and dealing with what all he goes through,
That's true.
eh.
Yeah, imagine waking up one morning and then finding out that you are a chief of a village you don't
But the
even
thing
know.
is, that's sort of weird. It's like do you just immediately forget? I mean, we're going way off into this one, but like if you wake up one morning and you're
Absolutely.
chief, then you really had no memory of this world, quote unquote, whatsoever. Then it's just another morning of waking up, and you're just Hiccup, and nothing. You really, it's just a weird way to think about it, but you don't even. It's like not even a thought in your mind that this happened. You just woke up your chief. It's like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I have all the memories. Nothing seems fake. So there you go. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
a weird way of putting it.
Okay. Point taken. Anyway, next one.
All right. I feel like Netter hatchlings would have a really hard time learning to walk since their heads are very large, they have light tails, and are bipedal. For me, I would say this one's definitely funny, and I would agree. It would definitely be something I'd be interested to learn.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, Heart of a Chief, I guess.
Yeah, real
You
quick,
see,
wasn't there actually when Hiccup sees like Stormfly's babies in Gift of the Night Fury, didn't like one of them roll over or like fall down and roll, like do a front flip or something or a somersault? I can't remember. I'd
I
have to
don't
rewatch
remember.
it.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it.
But yeah, absolutely makes sense.
yeah. Okay, so we agree on this one. Next one.
Oh great, look at the one that I get. I really love Astrid. I do. Not that I see Astrid haters all the time, but for Astrid's sake and my love for her, I more than proudly say that Astrid haters hate me too.
You know, if you wear that with your Hiccup voice, it will be so fitting.
Alright, hold on. I really love Astrid. I do. Not that I see Astrid haters all the time, but for Astrid's sake and my love for her, I more than profoundly say that Astrid haters would hate me too.
You know, that's really. I'll say Heart of a Chief because I agree with the idea. I kind of agree with the idea that you know, it's hard. It's sometimes hard to see people hate on a character you like.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So I know where this person is coming from, and yeah, Astrid is a cool character, and
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I agree too.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
Wolf doesn't.
Astrid's an enjoyable character. I think it's always, a good idea to help to bleh. I think it's a good idea to always understand the distinction between hate and criticism, though, right?
Absolutely.
Like, I think it's perfectly fine to criticize the character for flaws you think they might have, but there's a difference between critique and, like, just generally, coming out and saying, I dislike this character, end of. There is a difference between those two things.
There is a difference between saying, I don't like Astrid because she's blonde, I don't know, and then saying, I don't like Astrid because I don't feel like I connect to her.
Yeah. Definitely a difference there, yeah.
All right.
But again, I agree.
But overall,
Next
I would
one.
agree with this. Yeah.
Yep.
Next up, I think if Hiccup and Toothless landed in my backyard and asked me to leave behind everything I'd ever known and cared about to come with them, and that there was no time to explain, I would go with them gladly.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
It depends on for how long do I live and do I get to come back.
An adventure is an adventure. Why not? Jump in, take it, go for it, see where it leads. The worst that could happen is you die. I mean, that's not a huge loss.
That.
Yeah.
Walk it off.
Yeah. You shake it off.
It just ruins your day.
Yeah. Just a small setback, and then you're right up and moving along again.
A flesh wound, your whole arm is off.
Yeah. As much as it will be cool, there are two problems I have with this. One, I don't have a backyard, so this could never happen to me, never. Second of all, I would tell my family and some friends where I'm going before that, even if there is no time to explain, because
there's no time to explain. It's either go or there is no go. I think that's what they mean, right? Like you don't get the chance to tell anyone. It's just go or don't go.
Actually, it will be one of those come quickly. There's no time to explain, and then there's like an hour, 2 hours long flight where you're both sitting in silence, and it's like, why won't you explain it to me now? There's plenty of time to explain that.
So obviously, HC is polarized.
Yeah, polarized.
I'm with Wolf.
I would
go for
I would say I agree. Yeah, jump for it. Why not? Go for it. As I said, the worst that could happen is you die, and that's not a major setback.
But you got to ride a freaking dragon.
Yeah, at least once.
Night Fury
Even
too.
if you fell off
and
died because of that.
Oh, God.
All right. Man,
Moving along.
Getting all the funny ones.
I noticed. I'm curious to see if this continues. If Hiccup was able to sneak it. All right, go ahead. What?
No, I was about to say, let's see.
Oh. If Hiccup was able to sneak a dead eel under his vest undetected, then Berk must be a very rank-smelling place indeed.
Going back to Wolf's comments on how he wouldn't want to travel back in time if he had knowledge of AC and things. Well, if he had knowledge of bats and had to travel back in time, boy howdy would he be in for a surprise.
Actually, Vikings are fairly clean people.
That's right. I do remember that they were.
Yeah, because if they weren't able to wash it, we won't have the line of that doesn't wash out.
And they
the
only had Gobber.
Non-clean person on Berk was Gobber.
Yeah, that's right.
And everyone wanted him to have a bath, so.
So, but you know what? Actually, one question to any marine biologist who may be listening to this. Do dead fish smell? Because fish are smelly anyway.
I can tell you dead fish smell. Anything. First,
I think
I'm not even a marine biologist.
I think you'd probably be more specific. Dead eels smell real bad, right?
Probably. Anything that's
No, because, people say that fish in general are pretty smelly. So
yes.
You know what I'm talking about. I'm walking at the supermarket and I can smell the dead fish.
They're even
so
worse.
Ignore what I said.
They're even worse if they're rotten.
Looking at this one, right? Like, depending on where he has to walk, like one dead eel isn't going to be that smelly, depending on how old it is, right? And you have to remember, Berk is essentially a fishing village to a large degree for how much fish they take in. And when you have that much fish in an area, it's gonna smell.
Yeah,
if you've been in
that's probably why it's rank smelling, not the people.
So it's probably why he was able to get it by.
That's very true. And then the other thing is, we saw him. Now I'm not gonna. We saw him basically drop that to the same. We're assuming the same eel to Toothless, or maybe he has another one. If he has another one, then it's more fresh than the old one, right? But if it's the same one, that's at least a day old.
If it's another one, then it's the twin brother because it looks exactly the same. Also, that's.
Let's just put it this way: fish look similar. Fish look more similar than a lot of humans do.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, so Heart of Chief, I guess?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, sure, why not? Again, not a... Oh, and look at me again, being... Alright, here we go.
Okay, then the next one is interesting just based on the picture. That's...
Sorry, excuse me, just give me a second. People think I look and act like Heather, which makes me angry. I mean, sure, I do look like her. I have the hair and the eyes. But the thing is that I don't really like Heather's rude side. She's so mean to Astrid sometimes. The fact that my friends think I act like her makes me upset. First and foremost, let's assume that this person hasn't seen Race to the Edge, because I don't quite recall Heather being mean to Astrid in Race to the Edge.
Let's assume this is pre-Race to the Edge.
Yes. Anyway.
Then, even then, I would still disagree with this one.
Yeah, still.
Yeah, it's more Astrid that's been rude to Heather, if anything.
Well, Astrid was just suspicious.
Yeah, I mean, I think like Heather was
but you know what
being sly, right? But at the end of it, I think they were still fairly good with one another. And I think, again, like I've always said, like that episode from Riders of Berk was more about those two becoming friends than it was anything else, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't think Heather was all that rude to Astrid. And like the way she treated Astrid was just because she was trying to be sneaky and sly and trying to get away with something, and Astrid was getting onto her, right?
Yeah.
So
I agree with Wolf. More towards active snot loud here for me.
Yeah, same, active snot loud. Like I don't really understand it. So next up, I now have a headcanon that if Hiccup actually was real and lived in our time, his favorite American football team would be the Minnesota Vikings. You know, interesting fact about this, one of the modern AU's fanfictions I've read has Stoic be the manager of a football team.
Vikings. Yes, I've seen.
No, not the Minnesota Vikings, as they call them, the hooligans. Like,
oh, really?
But again, yeah. Anyway, you know what? I'll say Heart of Chief because it makes sense, I guess.
I guess.
Why not?
Okay,
well, that was an easy one.
Yeah, that was an easy one. Okay. Okay, next up.
I must admit, I have the biggest crush on Tough Nut. He's such a dork. I would agree. He's definitely a dork, and I can understand why someone would have a crush on him.
Yeah. You know what? Based on all the stupid people I know that manage to get the girl every time, instead of the people who are actually deserving of it, not speaking from personal experience, I'll say Heart of Chief.
Heart of Chief. All right.
Okay, well, I love how quickly this is going. So
well, that's because we're getting a lot of silly ones that are, of course, and now on to mine with the long, super dark.
Yeah.
One.
The picture. Let's do this.
This may be dark, but in my opinion, Hiccup and Toothless should go out together with a bang at the end of the third movie. Their bond will remain strong till the end. This would be a very powerful and memorable finale to the franchise that would deviate from a traditional happy ending that most animated movies have. Now, definitely not agreeing with this one, but it's not active snot loud because, for one, it's not. We pretty much know or can guess that it's not going to be a happy ending. This person may be slightly out of the loop here.
Well, this also might be old too, though.
Well, yeah, that's true. But yeah, like I don't want them to go out with a bang. I want them to have a future. Just go their own separate ways. But then again, it's something that would be cool to see. So it's like I don't want it to happen, but I agree it would be a nice thing. So that's why I'm not Active Snot or Heart of Chief. I'm whatever that third name is. I already forgot already.
I'll say polarized as well because you know what? If Hiccup and Toothless need to, like, obviously I don't want it, but if they need to die at the end of this, then yeah, that will be the way to do it. Like they're both, like they go out together, but I don't want them to die. I want them to live on and be happy. And so polarized. Best way to sum it up.
I think it comes down to a lot of people don't want to see them separated, right? And they would rather see these two characters die together than separated, with one of them being alone and the other not being there. In which I get it, I understand it, but at the same time, I think it's less. I think that's actually somewhat more of a happier ending than them being separated, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think them having to separate is probably sadder in some ways than it is just them both. Well, we're dead.
That will be, that's such a hiccup thing to say. You know what? Yeah, exactly. I want to say that if they, like, how the Dragon is basically now has the reputation of an animated Star Wars. So let's have them like show up in a hologram in front of us and then go da da da, we're dead, and that's it.
No hiccup. I am your father. Sorry.
Again,
Tutas is Hiccup's father. Okay.
Any Star Wars references I get in the third movie, I will love Dean for.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. General Hoth.
I'm never going to let it go. But looking at this a little bit longer, their bond will remain strong till the very end, right? Like, I think that one alone makes me kind of disagree with this, simply because I would rather see them separated, and because I think that shows a more strengthened bond than them just dying together. Because the fact that they're willing to separate and willing to let one another go, I think, shows a much stronger bond, in my opinion, at the very end.
Yeah. Okay.
So again, like, maybe this is old, but I do disagree with it.
Okay.
Real quick, if you guys go to the bottom of the page, and then you see under the 3 Dragon Riders, if you go to a separate page, it's all 3 of us. It just shows all 3 locations. General locations. Anyway. Sorry, I got distracted by that. Because it's computing. But on the next page,
so on to the next page. I realized that when Hiccup is younger, you can barely tell what color his eyes were. But now they are such a bright green that they are practically glowing. So that means Hiccup's redesign has green eyes. No! Okay. Sorry. Had to. And polarized, I guess, because, yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, yeah, it's not something that you really feel strongly about. I mean, his eyes are clearly green in the picture, and I mean, we could kind of... I always noticed his eyes were green, mostly because Toothless's eyes were green. That's supposed to be, the mirror as well.
Yeah.
Toothless's eyes are more pale green, even harder to tell.
I suppose, again, like, thanks to the second movie having, a jump in quality, like, the color looks better, I guess you would say, like, more clear, more crisp, yeah. So maybe that's, the difference, right? But, like, on the confession, like, I think you can still tell, so...
Yeah, that's how I see it. Right?
Like, I don't really get this one, right? So, yeah, nice detail, I guess, but...
Again, I still think I'm getting the somewhat quote-unquote
You are, and I'm getting all the
funny.
freaking serious ones here.
Anyways, if Astrid was supposed to...
Can we just comment on the picture before everything? That picture is amazing.
Yeah.
It is. The author of this Confessions blog, the admin of this Confessions blog is on point with the images.
Yeah.
If Astrid was supposed to replace Kamikaze in the movie, I hope her mother's name isn't/wasn't Big Boobied Bertha.
Okay, is that Kamikaze's mom's name?
Yes, it is. She is the leader of a female tribe of thieves in the books. And Kamikaze is supposed to be like the heir to that tribe.
Okay.
And that is her name.
Big Boobied Bertha. For some reason, it sounds like a name of a boss in Conker's Bad Fur Day. I don't know. But Heart of Chief, I guess, because that will totally kill the mood. Because, we have this strong warrior, Viking warrior. What's her mother's name? Big Boobit Barta. Really?
I mean, in the books, it works. And it works because, she's very different from Kamikaze, extremely different from Kamikaze. But at the same time, they're also somewhat similar in how, Big Booby Bertha is basically always fighting with Stoic in some way, shape, or form in the books. Mm-hmm. They don't necessarily get along, per se. And when we first meet Kamikaze in the books, she doesn't necessarily fight with Hiccup, but she definitely, her and her mother think very highly of themselves and their abilities. Extremely highly.
Isn't Kamikaze's dragon named Stonefly?
Yeah. It is a mood dragon, I guess you would say.
Okay. A mood. Stonefly, come on, we need to go. I don't feel like it.
Not so much that, but it's the dragon. The dragon changes colors whenever it's it changes colors with its emotions. If it's lying, it's a certain color. If it's lying,
what's the dragon that we have? Crap. There's one in the movies, How to Train Your Dragon 2, that can do that.
Yeah, one of Valka's dragons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna bother me until I can remember what type it is. Anyway. All right.
Next up.
Now Drush's Depression Simulator. All right. I cried when I saw Hiccup's leg at the end of How to Train Your Dragon. To me, it made Toothless and his bonds stronger for some reason. I can't wait for the next movie and series. I love it all. Heart of a Chief. I didn't cry.
Heart of Chief, definitely. I didn't really cry like I went, whoa. But yeah, definitely. I agree. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely agree. We've talked about this before, how it's just a nice parallel, and it really just resonates, and it's done well. So, absolutely agree.
Yep.
There we go. That's what it is. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
So next one. I know I have a really big crush on Hiccup, but when I rewatch How to Train Your Dragon, Tough Nut is actually kind of cute.
A lot of tough nut love.
Yeah, let's change us to Let's Worship Tough Nut episode. Also, just look at this smile. How can you not love this smile? I mean, come on, this smile is... Yeah, okay. Glad you guys agree. My guess polarized because I don't know, that long hair is not my style, I guess you could say.
Yeah, polarized. All right, on to the next one. You're just rocketing by here.
This is just... Is it just me, or did older Hiccup lose most of his freckles? Because, to be honest, he's cute with freckles.
It's actually funny that if you listen to the How to Train Your Dragon 2 commentary with Dean and the producers and all these people, they actually said that they revealed the clip where Hiccup meets Valka at some sort of a con. And people were actually complaining that Hiccup doesn't have his freckles from the first movie, and they were like, "It's not finished. They're coming. Don't worry." So, an actual real behind the scenes fact, actually. To be honest, I didn't.
Though. Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, it's nothing that really bothers me. I mean, I see that he has freckles, so.
Yeah, in that picture.
I'll say. Yeah, so say act of Snout. It sounds also like something Snout would write in order to discredit Hiccup.
Yeah, he's not cute with freckles. Definitely Snotlout.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's not something that really bothered me, so I guess I don't necessarily agree.
exactly. All right.
Okay, so
all right, here we
next
go.
up.
Woo! Look at that. Another long one. Although this one's not as super serious. And in my designated opinion, because they capitalized that, I don't think Hiccup is that hot in How to Train Your Dragon 2. To me, he's more like meh and Jack Frosty like. I barely reacted when I saw his face. I liked Hiccup when he was younger, scrawny, and more ambitious. Oh, a more ambitious curiosity, more experienced. It sparked my desire to learn more about dragons. If anything else, I'm way more excited to see the twins, especially Roughnet. And I'm a girl. I.
Yeah, okay, can I just say that again, Hiccup's face in that picture, like with that context, amazing.
Again,
amazing.
We're all guys here, so we really don't have an opinion on Hiccup's change.
I mean,
like in that sense.
like there was.
I don't really get the Jack Frosty part. Like, I don't really see the similarities.
It's not the similarities; it's the idea.
So there was like when the second movie.
I don't even get the idea. Like Hiccup is a lot more. You know what? I think Jack Frost is actually scrawnier than How to Train Your Dragon 2 Hiccup.
Oh, he
is.
Honest.
He is. That's not the point, though. Anyway, Wolf, you were saying?
When this was like, I remember this time, right? Like when the second movie was first coming out, there was a lot of back and forth between people where a lot of people came into the fandom like, wow, Hiccup is really hot. I really think he's really hot. And there was a lot of people who were against that, surprisingly enough, and didn't like that. And there's some back and forth. I think it's fine. If you think he's hot, great. If you don't, that's fine too. Either can exist perfectly fine.
Yeah, really.
If you think he's hot, I understand why. Like, I can see why you see that. I'm not attracted personally, but go for it.
I think that's the second girl in the entire world I know about who doesn't think Hiccup is hot in that movie. The first one is my mom.
All right. I mean, to be 100% honest, anybody that does like a Hiccup is not hot or is hot post, I assume at first is a girl, just purely because that's usually who comments on these things. So
maybe not all of them.
I know not all of them, but that's my first thought is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, sure.
Anyway. All right.
So I'll say polarized just because I don't really. Again,
I guess we could look at it like, which design do you like better? Do you like the second movie's design better or the first movie's design better? We can look at it based on that. Like, we can look at it based on that. Like this person apparently likes the first movie's design better. Would you agree with that or disagree with that?
So in that case, act of snap-out, minor act of snap-out, because I like the original design fine. Just I like the new one better. That's me.
Yeah.
What about you, Rush?
I like the new one just because he's closer to my age. To be honest.
Biased.
Yeah.
I think it's a good improvement, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a really good continuation of his design that you can still tell.
The idea was.
I want to see what these people think now too, because this is probably a really old one, and there's actually another.
Oh, it is. This was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, if I'm not mistaken, this is when.
This may be before How to Train Your Dragon 2 was released.
It was back when I think we first saw the image of Hiccup from the trailers when this one came from.
Yeah, like in Two Down, they actually talk about the trailer as well. So it's like, well, what do they think now after actually seeing the movie? I mean, they probably don't have an opinion change on that, or maybe they got older and then they said, because 3 years ago, right? They got older. Say they were like 12 at the time, and it's like, well, now he's too old for me, right? What if it was just that stupid kind of girl crush thing? I'm just saying, it's quite a possibility. They're like, well, now he's too old for me, and I don't like it. And now that they're like 18 or something, like, okay, I can see that now.
Well, either way,
priorities
we're halfway through.
Change. I'm just saying.
Anyway, halfway through. My dad absolutely loves How to Train Your Dragon, and we watch Defenders of Berk together every morning. I really hope we'll go to the IMAX premiere of the new movie, even though it's 2 hours away.
Aww. Heart of a Chief.
I want
That's
to
so
say
adorable.
Heart of a
Disagree.
Chief, but
Act of Snot Loud. It's terrible.
Heart of a Chief, and I wish
Watching
my
movies
dad
with family.
didn't hate animation, because then I could say the same. But sadly, my father doesn't like animated movies that much. So
Hold on.
yeah.
I gotta go back to Twitter real quick. I just realized it's National Podcast Day.
It's National Podcast Day.
Yeah, apparently
Okay.
it is. Apparently it is.
Yeah.
Happy
I guess
National
that was
Podcast Day
National
here from the
Podcast
Berkcast.
Day.
Yeah. Happy National Podcast Day from the Berkcast.
During the show.
That was so random.
I'm sorry, I
Mhm.
just a notification on my phone, it buzzed and it said, "Did you know it's National Podcast Day?" It's like, what?
Well,
Good timing. Twitter.
awesome. I
Back to
guess.
the confession, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a nice confession.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Heart of a Chief.
I'd agree.
Yep. All right.
Anyone next up?
At this point, I'm just going to start skipping these almost. There's so many of them. I like
Yeah.
older Hiccup in the trailer, but I don't think he looks enough like he did before.
What?
Looking back at the trailer, thinking of the trailer, and even looking at the second movie, I would disagree.
Yeah, if you
You
took
know-
a picture of me at 15 and me at 20, it's almost the same style transformation. I got way taller, my face got longer, I grew facial hair.
Again, to praise the pictures which are attached to these confessions, Hiccup's face sums up my reaction to this. Like, what? What is this? Because I think it looks similar enough. Like, again, this is the same guy 5 years later. And-
I think that's the point, right? Like, you're supposed to age them, and there's going to be differences when you age, but you age them in a way that they still look similar, and I think they did pretty well at that.
Yeah.
I think if you
So I'll
should actually,
say actors not loud.
this should actually be a really good experiment for someone to try. Go up to someone who's never seen either How to Train Your Dragon movies, show them a picture of Hiccup from the first movie and Hiccup from the second movie, and ask them, do you think this is the same person? And see what they say. Might be an interesting experiment to try.
I'll keep this in mind for
Alright.
later. Hey, Rush, you got a short one.
Yeah, and it's a Heart of a Chief for me personally. I hope they keep Hiccup left-handed. Heart of a Chief because I'm left-handed.
I don't see why they would change that.
Yeah, how do I
Well,
achieve because I don't see
Like,
why
I
they'll
understand,
change it.
but-
It's more of a. I'm pretty sure this person is thinking like, I hope they don't forget that they made him left-handed. In fact, it feels like they did because sometimes with Inferno, like he throws it with his right hand.
Well, in the books,
if
Hiccup
all the-
is ambidextrous. His left hand is his dominant hand, but he is ambidextrous in the books. And I think this is what they're getting at, somewhat maybe.
Yeah.
I think the only time I really caught him using his right hand is in the second movie when he's firing the arrow during Stoich's funeral.
No,
That's
but
really
the thing is, all of the other people firing an arrow is different. You actually, crap. I want to say
There was a thought
hold-
there.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to think of how you fire an arrow. You fire an arrow like your dominant hand is actually out in front because it holds the bow straighter.
Yeah.
All of the other
really.
all of the other writers were doing it with their right hand.
Yeah, you actually don't generally hold the arrow itself with your dominant hand. Generally, you're holding the bow itself with your dominant hand as you pull with your offhand.
Yeah, because like I said,
Because-
it's the bow straighter.
Well, yeah, and you'll probably be able to hold it more stably with your dominant hand than you will your
Steadily,
offhand.
That's what I meant to say. You're right.
Yeah, steadily. Yeah,
And
steady,
that's-
stable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a thing I didn't know.
Yeah. All right. On to
The
number
more you
Okay.
know.
or on to
So next one to number 6. I don't understand why people are upset that the dragons are treated like animals in the series. They must really have a low opinion on animals. Did they never have a pet that meant as much to them as any family? People were
This is-
upset by this.
Yeah, this was actually a thing back in Riders and Defenders of Berk. People were people thought the dragons from the first movie were more feral than they are in the show. And people still think that. You still see that complaint from time to time. It's a complaint that I disagree with personally, still yet. I don't think they're any more different than they are in the movie. And when we only had the first movie to compare to, my opinion was you're comparing all of the dragons that we see in the show and how they act to just one. Remember that. Like we don't see how any of the other dragons get to act in any major way other than Toothless. So I think that's a bit of
freed. Like all the other dragons are either, in cages or under the queen's control. Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Like so I just assumed that dragons in some sense are animals, so I didn't really think too much of it, especially when like we saw Toothless, and Toothless is pretty much a cat and a dog put together. So
one of the big complaints was that they're too pet-like. They're way too pet-like in the show. Like the show has them too pet-like. Like these are dragons. Like why are they treated like a regular house dog or house cat?
Isn't it kind of the point that they are pets, they are partners, they are friends?
I would say so. Like
yeah.
The entire point of Riders of Berk was, to try and adopt the dragons more into the Vikings' lives and cultures and work alongside them even more, right? Like I think that's the entire point of Riders of Berk. So I would say, but a lot of people dislike that.
I'll say Hand of a Chief because I agree with that person. I don't understand that claim.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great, we all agree. Okay, next up, let the page load. It's you, Wolf.
All right. Oh, nope, I went back the wrong way. I went back to newer instead of when going older.
I almost got caught by that one.
I did get caught by that one. All right. One day I'll adopt an entirely black puppy and I'll name it Toothless. No regrets. And not much to say here. Agree. Yeah. Make it a black lab.
I won't necessarily adopt a new puppy. Like I still have my dog and I love him and I won't replace him for anything. And yeah, I usually call him.
One day.
No, not
that's a bit
one day.
Very specific, and they didn't mean it that way. I'm pretty sure.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Maybe my children. Maybe my children. I don't know.
That's ambitious.
My only suggestion.
It reminds me that. Yeah, go ahead, Wolf.
My only suggestion to this person is make it a black lab, and you're set.
That's the only. That's really the only dog that I can think of that's, for one, not long-haired, but like completely.
Or maybe a Great Dane.
Oh my God, that's. Yeah, I guess the size ratio would be nice if you had a little kid.
They could actually write. You could get a little Toothless costume and a little Hiccup costume, and then you could just have the best cosplay.
Yeah. Most AUs actually put Toothless as a cat. I mean, for most reasons, he acts more like a cat in the movie than a dog.
I could see him as both.
Exactly.
And
I know.
I enjoy it when either or, right?
Yeah.
Like I understand internet cats, but dog person, so nah. Cats are terrible and evil. I've said it there.
Yeah, I don't like
cats. Don't love you. They just pretend to love you, people. Wake up.
Yeah. All right. So for my 7th, we're back on to modeling. Seeing the official trailer only confirmed my dislike for the new designs. Great. More of this. We already have talked about this. Act of Snot Loud. I do not agree with this.
Act of Snot Loud next.
I would like the person to go into more detail, but overall, yeah, I would say I don't agree. I generally enjoyed a lot of the designs from the second movie, so disagree.
Okay, number 7. I have nothing against people who ship non-canon pairings, but I don't understand why they do it. Is the canon story not good enough or something?
If they cut it off with that, if they stop after I don't understand why they do it, that's fine, but asking is the canon story not good enough or something? Whoo boy, you're opening a whole other can of worms there.
Yeah, it's like it's not necessarily a thing that the canon story is not good. It's just sometimes
something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm polarized.
That's pretty much
I agree with the first part. I don't really understand. Well, I sort of understand why they do it, and I do have nothing against him, but it's like I not fully agree. Obviously, I don't fully agree, but it's something that sort of strikes with me. So I'm not gonna say it's active snobbery.
Yeah, like Chris said, like I can understand it, and I can see where people are coming from when they do it. I don't always, as you pretty much all know, I don't generally get into shipping at all, hardly. So if ever,
Yeah,
so.
like I'll say polarized because I understand how people may not get it, but the claim of is the canon story not good enough or something? It's not. It's not that the canon story is not good enough. It's just sometimes people have a different point of view and a different idea of how the story could go.
Or they just enjoy the idea of two characters being together that they feel work together. Like the Hiccup and Merida shipping.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people enjoy that.
Of course, it chose the one that hits way too close to home.
Well, I mean, that's one that I could say that I could see
all
working,
the way
right?
in the Middle East.
Whatever you say, dude.
Yeah, yeah, like it's fine, and honestly, I just like for me. I just avoid this stuff like when it has like a pairing I don't like because I know I probably won't enjoy the story if they focus on that. It's like it would feel distasteful to me. So for the other things, like I'll go to a story where there's no shipping. That's fine by me. But if it has something I dislike, or even if it's an artwork, I mean it's kind of hard to disregard an artwork. I'll just scroll by it, right?
I'm willing to give it a shot sometimes and see how they work it out, and if they can do well with it,
kind of a
I might enjoy it. If not,
a traumatic experience that may make you laugh. I was helping a friend of mine with a project for school, and I looked for like pictures of Phantom of the Opera. Okay.
Oh boy.
And for some reason, I saw a fan art of Hiccup as the Phantom and Elsa as the chick, and I'm like, nope. And I closed the browser and I didn't find her that picture. And once I told her what happened, she understood completely. And then she printed the picture to torture me. So yeah, that's
good friend.
That's a thing.
Quote,
yeah, Neoran. Yeah. Okay. And that one.
I would do the same thing, so I can't say anything.
The Rush read this one, right?
No, that was you that read that. So now Wolf does the Toothless one.
Yeah. Okay. No. We're still on 7. Okay, go ahead, Wolf.
Though he's grown on me and I find him adorable, now, I thought Toothless's appearance was kind of ugly when I first saw him. Something about the face didn't work for me. I still don't find Night Furies all that beautiful.
Act of Snotlout. No. Any objections?
This
one's
weird because I never really thought of Night Furies in terms of ugly and beautiful, I guess. So
I just see them as adorable.
I do see them as adorable, but that's not like...
Like, think of, in terms of the first movie, right? Like, when you see the designs of all the dragons, which one stands out the most?
Night Fury.
And and the reason why for that, I feel, is because it's so plain compared to all of the other designs. And they did that on purpose, I feel. They wanted it to stand out, and they made him stand out because they made him so plain. Like, you look at the Monstrous Nightmare, like, almost all of the other dragons are more than one color, essentially. Like, the Monstrous Nightmare, the Deadly Natter. The only one who's not necessarily, like, more than one coloration to them is the Gronkle. And even then, you can still see a bit of two-tone in the brown and everything. Like, the Night Fury is extremely plain. Like, even the Gronkle stands out more than Toothless does somewhat because of its shape and its size and its wings. Mm-hmm. But Toothless is just so plain, but I kind of love that. Right?
Yeah,
that's what I enjoy.
One of those things that the simplicity is what makes it woke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
So I would disagree. I don't think Toothless is ugly. Yeah.
It's not loud, definitely.
All right, on to my anyway. One.
The 7th one.
Hiccup Shield. No, it's the 8th. Go back and count, HC. I've been counting.
Okay.
We'll do one extra. It doesn't matter. Yeah, moving on.
Really, okay. Anyway,
but
I love Hiccup Shield.
I definitely Heart of a Chief. I love that shield. And
It's a cool invention.
Okay, two questions, and we don't really do questions. So next up.
Yeah, those are asks, not confessions. So we'll skip to the next picture.
So next. Okay, so number 9. It may make me sound like a huge weenie, but I sub every time I see a Hicks Street scene. They're my OTP. Heart of Chief because, yeah, I know where this is coming from, and to be honest, this is probably the most famous OTP in the How to Train Dragon universe, because, well...
It's kind of the only one, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless
it's the
you
only
count...
one that...
You know what I'm going to say.
Oh, no.
Hiccup,
Dagger's
Boot, and Savage.
You know, Astrid the Valkyrie was having asks about ships in fandoms, and I was immediately thinking about doing an anonymous one for that right there, and seeing it just to see what she would say about it. Anyway,
I wouldn't have done it anonymous. I would have said, Berkcast team, this ask, it's Wolf.
Yeah. Well, I could have framed you, but you would have asked anyway.
I would have openly said, "Oh, even if I didn't do it, I would have said, yep, I'll go for that."
Just to see how her opinion on it. All right, Heart of a Chief because I too sob every time. No, I'm a huge Hickster shipper, so there you go.
I mean, I'm not necessarily a Hickster shipper, but it's it's a good pairing. It works, and a lot of people enjoy it, so I can't disagree. I guess so. Yeah.
Okay, next one is actually the next page.
Jeez. Oh, there we go.
All right. Who's this? Is it mine?
It's yours.
Yeah.
All right. I really am afraid of the sequel. I pray to Thor they don't make Hiccup macho. He is adorable as he is.
Looking at this in retrospective, they didn't really make him macho. Like, he still have his adorable
He's still
side.
scrawny compared to everyone else.
Well, I mean, this person was saying they hoped that they didn't, and their hopes were confirmed. They didn't. So, good for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Though, macho Hiccup, though.
Not really sure how to
Sarah,
categorize this
we
one.
need Sarah to make another drawing for us, or another edit.
All you have to do is just Hiccup's face photoshopped onto Macho Man's body.
Oh my god.
There you go.
Toothless is my brother.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Best ideas from here.
Okay, so next one, and Rush, this is you. You got another long one.
Yeah, but it's something we've already talked about, so it'll be a quick one. I don't understand why people get angry at the Vikings treating dragons as pets rather than friends. Not only are they pets in the books, but Hiccup calls them pets at the end of the first movie. Who said your best friend can't be your pet?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Heart of Chief. Thank you.
Again, the complaint is, they're dragons. Should dragons really be pets? Like, these are dragons, Like, that's the idea, right? Like, that's where they're coming from when they say that, when they have that kind of complaint. These are dragons, of all things. This isn't a dog. This isn't a cat. This is a dragon. And I get it, but I don't think that's what this franchise is necessarily going for. So,
So we had a discussion about it. Let's move on. Oh, great! For my last one, I get this again.
Looking at all the notes, before you go, I'm looking at all of the notes of these just to see how people respond to them. And for this one in particular that you're about to read, a lot of the comments are, "Hey, newsflash, people grow up," basically. And like that's what I totally agree with.
Yeah, exactly.
People don't understand that. Like, I mean, they're gonna if I could say, "Hey, show me a picture from 5 years ago," it's like, well, that isn't you. I hate what you became. It's like, how would they feel, right?
Okay, you know what? I'm going to break this apart as I'm reading it. So I don't want to watch the How to Train Dragon 2 trailer because I want all the Hiccup, the animation, and the fictional character that I fell in love with. Okay, first of all, if you're not going to watch it, how do you know they changed Hiccup? I mean, number one. Number two, so you want the animation to downgrade. Good on you, person. And the fictional character, you know that change looks doesn't matter. He's still the same guy, only older. You don't see people hating Neville Longbottom in Harry Potter because his actor grew up fantastically, I might add. I wanted that trailer to become fake. How does an official trailer become fake? How? How do you do that? How do you do that? Guys, how do you do that?
DreamWorks comes out and says that was fake.
They released it on April 1st.
That too.
But they didn't. They released it in July.
DreamWorks just has to come out and say that was fake.
Yeah. And he became the new... I don't get that he became the new Jack Frost. I don't see it. How?
Again, I don't think they're comparing it to like actual like looks. I think they're saying a lot of people found Jack Frost hot, and now a lot of people find Hiccup hot, and they dislike that, I guess.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so
Jack
on
Frost
that same boat, on that note, I find Scarlett Johansson hot, and I find Jennifer Lawrence hot. So that means I look alike, right? For the love of God,
it's not about looking alike, HC. I know you feel very strongly about this, but it's the fact that they're both pretty boys. It's the idea of turning Hiccup into a pretty boy because Jack Frost did it first. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that they look alike, HC. Let's just take that out of your mind.
It's not. Yeah, it's not the looks they dislike. It's the idea that he's that now.
Yeah, but that's exactly the point. So we can't like another actress or person or someone because he looks hot and we know another one who was hot before him or her or something.
It's just that I don't know.
We didn't say it was,
that is
logical.
Yeah. For one, it's not logical. For two, I think they probably took it as, oh, Hiccup's hot and he'll have no personality. Again, a lot of these we're assuming are pre-How to Train Your Dragon 2 movie.
Oh yeah,
one of the notes, as I go back to my reading through the notes thing, one of them says, I had the same issue, but then I watched the movie and actually fell in love with the animation. They actually got the story and realized he was the same Hiccup.
Baby, yes, exactly.
But this,
that's how much I'm annoyed. I accidentally switched out of English. That's how stupid this is. Actors not loud. Sorry, person.
Okay. Anyway.
Good day to you, sir. You lose.
Wolf, you're next.
Talking about this a bit though, I can say the animation for the first movie was good. So I can't complain about that too much if we just got the same animation again. Like the animation for the first movie was good, so that's not necessarily too much of a complaint. But again, right, it just comes down to I disagree, and I think most people would probably disagree with this now. Even people who said it back then would probably now disagree. So, again, I can see where they're coming from. I can see the resistance to change and not wanting the change and wanting things to stay more the same. I get that, but change isn't necessarily always a bad thing.
And it always happens, so you need to learn to live with it.
Yes.
Yes. Don't give me any of that. We can talk about this later because we're at the hour mark and.
Okay.
Right, so.
Wolf, let's do you.
I hate it when people complain about the love scenes between Astrid and Hiccup in How to Train Your Dragon.
God damn it, love scenes, really?
DreamWorks did what they thought was popular at the moment. Every show has some romantic stuff in it because it's what people want to see. So suck it up. If there wasn't any, you'd be complaining.
First, I can't. I agree at the very first sentence. I will not hate it, but I like. Why are you complaining? It happened. Get over it. But everything else is like, why do you have to say it like that, dude? You make it sounds like an asshole, basically.
A little bit. Yeah.
Suck it up. And it's like, okay. And I know I say that a lot. Oh, not about this though. But geez, phrase it nicer, please. Let's check the notes on this one. I
noticed that I think we can all agree that the most controversial thing about this franchise is Hickstrid, and if they represent it enough or don't represent it enough, it kind
goes
of a
back
thing.
and forth.
Yeah,
it goes back and forth.
I'll say polarized.
Yeah,
Because,
polarized. Anyway.
Rush has one last confession.
Last confession. And what a confession it is. It's the next page. I wish Astrid and I were twins and best friends.
Are you blonde?
I am.
Hey!
So wish granted, I guess.
But I'm approximately half a foot taller than her. And I guess I'm the same age. So, damn, we could be twins. Wait, no. Yes, no, I think we are the same age.
Okay, cool. You're all twins. Huzzah!
About that.
Question is, can you wield an axe?
Could learn.
Yeah.
Looking at the actual confession, though,
Yeah.
like I can understand this.
Yeah, Heart of Chief, because who doesn't want to be twins and best friends with the characters they like? I mean, come on.
I don't know about twins, but friends, sure.
Mm-hmm. I'm still waiting for some of them to become real. Don't judge me.
All right.
So yeah, now that we went through all 10 confessions, each one of us read 10 confessions each. Rush, do you have a confession of your own?
Yes, I hate you all. The end.
Well, Heart of a Chief, definitely.
You agree that?
Wait, do what now?
No, jeez. So, I guess confession, I had a crush on Astrid when it first came out. There.
Many people did, I think.
Well, it's still a confession because I haven't told anybody.
So, I mean, there's nothing to be, I'm sure we could probably go through quite a few different confession blogs and find the exact same thing.
Probably.
Even more so for the second movie.
Yeah.
Also for Heather as well, I'm sure.
Probably.
Well, Heart of Chief, I can see it. Didn't go through it, but I can understand.
Absolutely.
Okay, so as we exit the confession booth, we also say that this was all for this episode of the Berkcast. We hope you enjoyed. If you want to confess anything again to us, you can do that on the Berk forums, or on our Twitter. Berkcast is capital B, capital C, and on Tumblr we are Berkcast Team. So,
by the way,
next time,
confessions blog we were reading from this time was Confessions of a Dragon Rider at Tumblr.
And that will be posted. That'll will be linked at the bottom of our YouTube video that gets posted.
So we can give them a bit of a shout out, I guess you could say.
Okay, so until next time, I was HC.
I was Rush.
And I've been Wolf.
And we will talk to you all next time. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.